Ta looks so relaxed. He looks too relaxed. He's like a little bit... If he's any more relaxed, he'd be sleeping. Ta's about to fall asleep. Yeah, it looks like someone's singing him a bedtime song. I'm more scared of that Goblin Brawler. There's no way. The Goblin Brawler's on top. It's not going to be enough. It's going to be close, though. Hoggy's going to take it down to what? Flying Machine? There's no way. Zap comes in. That got a lot closer than I expected. Poor network detected. Sick. I hate Wi-Fi issues. Cash, just use Ethernet, zero lag. You think I'm on Wi-Fi right now, guys? Of course I'm on Ethernet. I'm hardwired into my modem. I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at my cord right now. Of course I'm hardwired in. I just don't know why it doesn't work. I don't know. Maybe everything's melting outside right now. The snow's all melting, so maybe the good old Canadian hamster wheel is too wet. The hamsters can't run on it. I don't know. It still looks pretty unstable on my side. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I wish I knew. Is it still really bad for you guys? Is it watchable? Is it watchable? Is it better? Refresh. Yo, everybody, yeah, if you're watching this, try to refresh. I think it might be a little bit better now. I apologize for the inconvenience. The good old internet. It's like the one thing that gets me. I'm usually such a calm, cool, collective cucumber, but internet problems, like electronic problems, computer problems, oh, just yeet. Now it's watchable. Let's go. I'm blaming Muhammad Light for losing. If Muhammad Light won, it would have been fine. It's all because Muhammad Light lost. Muhammad Light lost and the internet went down. Coincidence? I think not. Ta looks so relaxed. He looks too relaxed. He's like a little bit... If he's any more relaxed, he'd be sleeping. Man, just missed the ending of Muhammad Light's game. Come on. I know. I apologize. It was a... I don't know how to describe it. It was a solid effort from Muhammad Light. Lava Clone versus Minor Earthquake. It was pretty much an unwinnable matchup for Muhammad Light. Faust played it really, really well. It just wasn't enough. I don't know. Lava Clone. But we talked about that. That's exactly the deck you should pull out against maybe like a Samo Basoto, a Samo Basoto, a Muhammad Light, a Mugi. Really push them out of their comfort zone. Really try to get that matchup advantage. And if you get a matchup advantage, I don't care how good you are as a pro player, you're still probably going to lose, like, especially that good of a matchup. I have 1080. Okay, it looks like everything's back now. I'm seeing like a little bit of drops on my side, but for the most part, I think we're back in business, which is amazing because I don't want to miss any more of this action. Ta's about to fall asleep. Yeah, it looks like someone's singing him a bedtime song, a little lullaby. Rockabye Ta. Oh, freeze comes in. That's always the first freeze is always the worst because you always kind of know it's coming, but you also kind of don't know when. And when it comes, usually a little bit of that damage accumulation is it's hard to react. You see the freeze, you hear the freeze, but your fingers don't really always react to sometimes they're a little frosty, a little frozen. Played a second too late, and the damage from a graveyard can be pretty crazy. Here, the only shining light I like for Mugi is the fact that he has the rocket. I just don't know. Do you rocket the units coming across the bridge right now? Dark Prince on the right side is going to deal some decent damage. Baby Dragon's going to be able to defend, mitigate some of the damage. But now, okay, I like that now with this bridge spam bait deck that Mugi's playing. Now you can go in with the left. Now you can go in with the right. And I kind of like that. And we're seeing that right now. Bandit on the right side. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Goblin Barrel on the right side. I love it. Dark Prince on the right side. You can now defensive freeze. You know what? It's elixir. It's inefficient elixir-wise, but it does the job. It looks weird. It does the job. You got to do it sometimes. Bandit on the right side. I love this. Keep putting on this pressure on this right side. Archer Queen comes down, and this is perfect. This is exactly what you want to put. This is exactly the position you want to put a graveyard player in. This is exactly what we saw Faust do in double elixir and triple elixir against Muhammad Light, where you start, instead of going one lane against the graveyard player, you try to break up their push so they don't have one big counter push. They're using their elixir on the left. They're on the right, and they're not able to get that graveyard down, or at least sufficiently support the graveyard, where you're going to go off maybe a graveyard, an inefficient graveyard, on a unsupported graveyard. Tornado is going to activate King Tower. One Goblin on tower does get 2 stabs. Graveyard comes in, and this is the push. Rascal's up high. Bandit's going to be able to take out the Archer Queen. Freeze comes in. Dark Goblin comes in really quickly, and that should be GG's in the chat. Rocket comes in at 6 seconds. I think you have to play it. Is that going to get on tower? No, he has tons of time. Plays on the sweet spot. GG, well played. Mugi. Is that a really good matchup for Mugi? It looked really good. And we see Splash Yard. I don't know. Freeze is like this is now the second time that we've seen a maybe non-traditional meta deck in 2 games. And at that point, I think the best thing to do is kind of find what deck you like the most. Because yes, they're good decks, but I think if you find a deck that kind of complements you as a player, your play style, then you will be able to do better with that deck. Where do you want to play a control-y, slow cycle deck? Nah, cycle's not slow, but they're longer games. Control decks, cycle decks, usually the game is going to last 3+ minutes. And if that's not your play style, maybe you want to go more, I don't know, bridge spam, beatdown, bait. There's so many different archetypes in Clash Royale. We're finding that, whoa, those wall breakers on the right side. Yeesh, a little bit of a misplay by Mugi, going with the Barb Barrel, 1 tile too high. The first wall breaker doesn't get hit, so he has to play now more Elixir on defense. So overcommitting on defense, that's equally as bad as overcommitting on offense. There's an Elixir deficit here. Is this where Ta's going to commit? Is this where he's going to be able to get the damage? Royal Recruits come down late. Interesting. So he's going to take a lot of damage here. Interesting play. If you did have Royal Recruits in hand, why not just play them where the Royal Recruit's not going to be enough to deal with the Mega Knight and the Musketeer, maybe? And he knew that, and he said, okay, I'd rather just, instead of losing a tower, I'll take a little bit of HP, reset. Now, the Elixir, if you look at it, it's pretty much similar. And hopefully, let's not make another mistake. We'll see what happens. Whenever you see Fireball bait, you see Royal Recruits, Royal Hogs. Last 2 cards are going to be Fireball and going to be Royal Hogs. If you see this deck, if you're Mugi and you're going up against Mega Knight, yes, Mega Knight's annoying, but your opponent doesn't have Fireball. And so if you can keep these Flying Machines alive, watch the Flying Machine in this matchup. Because every single deck, there's always like a game changer. There's a card that can be the difference maker. And I think in this matchup, it's got to be the Flying Machine. Also, Mega Knight comes down 1 lane, opposite lane, free Royal Hogs. And there's not great ways to stop these Royal Hogs. Minions are okay. That's it. That's all you got. The last card for... What is the last card for Ta? Last card for Ta is going to be... Lightning. Interesting. Usually it's arrows. Lightning's not going to be great. Maybe he's going to mitigate a little bit of the value you get from the Flying Machine. Let's see what Mugi does here. This is what I like to see. I love this Royal Recruits Royal Hogs deck. It's one of my favorite decks, and I always love seeing the best players play it. Because sometimes you get comfortable with the play style where a player that's so comfortable in all different archetypes plays it a different way, and maybe even plays it better. Really clean defense on the right side, but these minions on tower, uses the Goblin Cage to push back the Musketeer. That should be GG's. That should be GG's. Really well played by Ta. Doesn't skip a beat. Loses the first game, but does really well. Not enough for a Mega Knight. Okay, Royal Hogs on tower. Goblin Brawler on that right side. I'm more scared of that Goblin Brawler. There's no way. The Goblin Brawler's on tower. It's not going to be enough. It's going to be close, though. Hog is going to take it down to what? Flying Machine? There's no way. Wall Breakers on defense. Miner on tower. Chip, chip, chip. Zap comes in. That got a lot closer than I expected. But Ta wins. And I like that. Ta lost the first set. Good. Looking at the data, you can probably get a good idea of what they're going to play. I wouldn't be surprised Mugi plays Bridge Spam. I think Bridge Spam or Hog EQ both really make sense to me. He has access to Lightning and he has access to Earthquake. He also has access to Fireball. And Fireball you can throw in Bridge Spam. I think it's great. Ta, on the other hand, I don't think you want to go Earthquake. I don't know if you want to go Earthquake cycle against... Oh my gosh, not what I expected. Skeleton Army from Mugi. Okay. So most likely going to be Skeleton King. We haven't seen... There it is. Skeleton King comes out. So it could be Skeleton King Royal Giant from Mugi. Or it could be Skeleton King Graveyard. It could be Skeleton King maybe Lava Hound. Probably not. And then Ta going with... Is Ta the... Did Ta pull out the weird... Who was the player that pulled out that very strange Bridge Spam deck? I think it was Ta. And right now, looking at Ta, what deck is he playing? It looks like it could be Lava Clone. There's no way. No, there's no way. What are we looking at with Ta? Royal Giant. Whenever I see Fisherman, I assume it's Royal Giant, so most likely it's going to be Royal Giant. Going with the Giant Skeleton Royal Giant. Todd, do you know who you're playing against? This is one of the best players in the world. Giant Skeleton is going to be able to get that death damage on tower, though, so it's a little bit of damage. It's not too insignificant, and as long as you can defend this Royal Giant relatively cleanly, Goblin Cage up high is going to be able to make sure this Royal Giant doesn't get on tower. Maybe gets one shot, does get one shot. Bats are still alive, and if this could be a problem. If you cannot deal... And a balloon? Wait, what? If it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck? No, it's a balloon. It's not a duck. It's been a balloon the entire time. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. I love this Fisherman in these balloon decks. I've tried that combo out a couple of times because a lot of times people to defend the balloon will do exactly that. They'll play the E was on top of the balloon. Very vulnerable to Fisherman pulls. So I don't know what the last card is from top. It could be, I don't know, a graveyard. It could be anything. Whatever. I would assume it's an air defense. He's already used Archer Queen. Maybe it's a Hunter. Hunter would make the most sense. I'd say last card for Todd's probably going to be Hunter. And then big spell for Mugi is going to be either Fireball or Lightning. I'm going to go with Lightning. It seems like Lightning makes the most sense in this deck. Has the reset with the E-Wiz. Maybe he doesn't need the Lightning. We'll see. We'll see if that makes a difference. Skeleton King is getting a little bit of value for these souls. I like how the souls kind of protect the Royal Giant the entire time as well. Yes, maybe it doesn't deal damage to the tower, but it almost acts as like a line of defense. E-Wiz comes down with the Skeleton Army. Goes with the Skeleton King as well. Maybe just making sure that if Ta goes arrows Fisherman, that you can make sure that E-Wiz is going to be enough for this balloon. What does Ta do here? He only has 4 elixir. Fireball was his big spell. I think that's GG's. This is where you see a little bit of weakness. This is where you have that opportunity for your Mugi, and this is where Mugi's striking. He's getting damage with all these bait cards, and he's just recognizing a elixir deficit from Ta, but also just not having arrows in cycle. No arrows in cycle. There's no splash in cycle. You know what? Let's go all in. Skeleton King up high, Fisherman as well. I love the bridge block. Right now, if Ta goes in with a balloon, it's going to be a lot easier to deal with. Is going to be able to win this bridge battle, and this game is so close. This game is so close. I wonder what the last card is for Mugi. It's got to be like Lightning or something, right? It pops the ability, and I think that's going to be good, though, because it's distracting the tower. It's distracting the Fisherman. Maybe it takes out the Fisherman, too, and that's huge. This Royal Giant's going to get at least one shot, and it all depends on the spell. Is it Lightning? If it's Lightning, we're in the danger zone. If it's Lightning, we're in the danger zone. E-Wiz comes down on defense. Uh-oh. It doesn't look like it's Lightning. No big spell maybe from Mugi? Maybe you're going to go with the log first and then Lightning to finish off the game. Still has, I love the bridge block. Lightning does come in, and there it is. GG, well played. Log comes in. Doesn't matter. Well played. You know what? I like that better. I like that better because doing that, your opponent doesn't know for sure you have the Lightning. So in their mind, they think, oh, maybe I have a chance to win. And then doing the log first and getting rid of the possibility of potentially your opponent Lightning blocking. I think that was a safe way to close out a game. And that's just what pro players do the best. That's what the best of the best do. They figure out ways to win, and they win. And Mugi wins 2-0, baby. Ta is straight up chilling. It sucks because Ta's played 2 really good sets. Really good sets. Like, that game was close. Ta was in the lead. But it all comes down. Skeleton King. Skeleton King, if we're looking at the games today, Skeleton King is the difference maker. Skeleton King has won so many games for these pro players. And, I don't know. It's definitely a king. Is it broken? Does it need a nerf? I don't know. Mugi's goated. Mugi's good, man. Mugi's really good.